So this is, to me, like a silly theology game. And I think that they're trying to wave their magic hands and pretend like we can play this game and that this describes what the Bible's describing.
Here's what he goes on to say. This is why he's a Calvinist. Okay.
It's really simple. It comes down to this. You ready for this? Can a person, unaided by God, a sinful person born into this world, any person, can a sinner, unaided by God, left on his own, choose Christ, turn from sin, embrace the truth, receive the gospel, believe, and be saved?
Can they, Kurt? And when I ask that question, can they, not only what you personally believe, but what do historically the people who have been on the quote unquote semi-Pelagian side of this debate, what would they say to that? I'm just curious before we move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me know when I can hop in here.
please do. This is a good spot right here.
Yeah. So let me just say a few preliminary things first here. He provides this stat 64%. Think that humans can play some role. I mean, even Jesus in Matthew 7 says, "Seek and you shall find; ask and it'll be given to you." So there's clearly some responsive aspect within Jesus' own teaching. He's giving an instruction for humans to have a synergistic role. All right, but this question, this concept of unaidedness, this drives me bonkers because there is no such thing as an unaided human being. The human being can't even exist without the grace of God. We can't even exist without general providence, okay? There is no such thing. We are talking like in philosophy terms. This is what's called impossible worlds. Like maybe you're familiar with like a possible world in which so-and-so does something. We're talking about worlds which can't exist. So this is, to me, like a silly theology game. And I think that they're trying to wave their magic hands and pretend like we can play this game and that this describes what the Bible's describing. But I just call their bluff. I say, well, wait a second. What do you even mean, unaided human? There is no such thing as an unaided human. We all have the grace of God, Christian and non-Christian. Jesus' teaching is explicit on this, that God provides for the righteous and the unrighteous. And so that just, like I said, that sort of drives me bonkers because they try to set the terms. They try to frame the debate. And I highly encourage people who've seen a number of the interviews I've done like this and read my work, I basically pull the rug out from the game. I say, hey, we don't need to play that game. And that's where people go mistaken. So, I don't consider myself a Calvinist, obviously, but I also don't consider myself an Arminian because I think they're playing the wrong type of ball game. They're trying to solve the relationship between the chronological aspect of grace and free will, and I hold to what's called the Doctrine of Concurrence. So it's both the grace of God and the free will of man. It's not an either
right.
or. Whereas the Calvinist and Arminian are trying to play the either or game and trying to get them to arrange in a certain way. So when you read,
right. It really comes down to how you define what grace is. What are we talking about when we talk about grace?
Yeah.
And even Calvinists have terminology for common grace.